Okay, for ready up drills, what I do at 5 yards with the AR-15 is I use a target system like this. And what you have here is you have 1 inches, 2 inches, 3 inches, and 4 inches. Now the front sight on the AR-15 at 5 yards is going to be probably just a little bit smaller than at 1 inch. And it's critical to have 1 inch because it forces you, when you pull the trigger, to make sure that the gun is not moving when you have your sight picture. And this big target down here is just for people that are getting started. And what I mean by a ready up drill is that very first shot, which is most important, coming up from the shoulder, where you fire just one shot. And your sights are aligned and you pull the trigger and you know that that bullet is going to go on that target. So a lot of people, think, well, I've got a 30 round magazine. Yeah, that's true, but the fact is that you want to make that first shot count because it ends the fight quicker. So it's that first shot that really counts, and you have to make it count so that you don't have to use more ammo. And that's why a 10 round magazine isn't necessarily a bad thing, because you can go prone and stuff like that, and maybe you can have your 30 round mags for backup if some crazy situation were to happen. But there's nothing wrong with having a few 10 round magazines. 30 round magazines are fun, yeah, I know that, but it's nice to have a few 10 round magazines for going prone and stuff like that. So basically what you're going to do is, I'm going to show you the AR-15 first. We're going to make sure that this weapon is clear, and this is facing towards a brick wall, but we're just going to look down in there just to make sure that this weapon is clear. Okay, so nothing in the mag well. And then we're going to flip it, and we're going to check that chamber real quick. Okay, as you can see, there's nothing in the chamber. So this weapon has been cleared. And also, you want to clear the magazine. I've got 4 dummy rounds that I practice with and a 10 round mag. Now, once again, the reason why I have 10 round mags is because I'll go down on the carpet prone and I'll aim at a 1 inch target. That white one that I was showing you, that's the one that I'll aim at. The reason why you want to clear your mags is because if you had dummy rounds mixed with live rounds, that wouldn't be too fun. So you want to make sure that you clear. Be off camera just for a sec here. You want to make sure that you clear the magazine too, not just the chamber and the mag well of the rifle. So I've got these 4 dummy rounds right here. And what you're going to do is, when you come up now with your AR, this is just basically a Ruger standard AR-15 with the flip up sights. When you come up on your target, if you're new, what you're going to do from the shoulders, you're going to come up on that 9. You're going to fire 1 round, and then you're going to assume that it's a failure, even though it isn't, because you're using your sight alignment and your trigger control, so it's benefiting you, but it doesn't go bang. So what you're going to do is you're going to pull back that bolt, get another round in the chamber, and then fire 1 more time if you want to do it that way. There's several ways you can use dry fire on these white pieces of paper here, but the main goal of everything is to get an accurate first shot when you first come up as fast as you can. So that's the most important shot that counts, because if you have a moving enemy, if they're standing here and you take that first shot and then they run, well, now you've got to try to track ahead of that target. So if the target's moving here, you have to aim a little bit ahead of it. And you don't want that situation. You want to make sure that that first shot counts. So with a new person, you start with the paper plate at 5 yards until you think that you're always on quickly when you do your ready up drill. And also, if you guys want to see a guy that's really into ready up drills, you can look at Bob Keller look him up on YouTube. He's really a big guy on mastering the basics, and I agree with him. You have to master the basics. If you're going to run and gun, but you can't hit a target, it doesn't make any sense, and it's not beneficial for you if you can't make an accurate first shot. So I'm not saying you have to be bullseye, but I'm saying that you have to practice that first shot coming up from your shoulder, squeezing that trigger, and making sure that that shot hits the target. So run and gun is fine, and blazing, 10, 20, 30 rounds, just doing mag dumps, that's fine, but it's got to be done the right way, folks. That first round really counts and has to. So, but anyway, enough talking about this. I just wanted to show you guys what I do with my AR-15. And one of the reasons why it's beneficial doing this is because the AR-15 does have some weight to it. So what you're doing is you're developing your deltoid muscles every time you bring this up. So think of it as weightlifting. You're doing sets. You're doing ready up drills where you bring this AR-15 up 100 times, 3 times a week. What you're doing is you're developing your mental image in your mind of where to place that front sight and the rear sight. And what you're doing is you're keeping the muscles in tone so that if you don't see the range for, say, like a month, the deltoid muscles and all the muscles that are used for holding the AR-15 steady, that because you've practiced indoors, now you're going to have the muscles in tone. And that's what people forget. A lot of shooting is muscle tone. It's like weightlifting, because the muscles have to be set so that they know where the AR-15, where you're holding it and stuff like that. The muscles have to have that exercise so that when you're holding it, you're not jiggly. And when you're jiggly, that means that the muscle is starting to get weak. It's not able to hold up the AR-15. So that's why if you practice this like 100 times, 3 times a week or something like that, or at least practice it somewhat, you're going to tone the muscles like you would as if you were weightlifting. So anyway, thank you very much for watching, you guys. It's fun doing ready up drills where you come up from the shoulder. You can do these indoors, and the transition does work out on the range. We got proof from Japan that dry fire and airsoft work with AR-15s, because there was a guy that came over from Japan that was a pretty much an airsoft addict, and he was just crazy about airsoft guns and the AR-15 specifically. And when they gave him a couple hours training, he was able to hit the targets, and he was hitting with really good accuracy, even better than some people that have been shooting the AR-15 for many years. So it goes to show that if you're committed, even though it's not going to go boom, you're not going to have any live rounds going boom. If you're committed to quickly engaging that target and pressing the trigger, making sure that your sights are lined up, that bullet is going to go where you want it to go. And doing this exercise, it becomes like you can almost do it in your sleep because you do it so much. So this is the whole key, and especially even if AR-15 or even if 5.56 or 223 ammo was cheaper, and let's say that it was so cheap that you can shoot it all the time, this makes sense here because everybody has a budget and there's only so much live rounds that you can use on the range. And the way I tell people for practice with live rounds is have an ammo budget for the month. Like, for instance, I have an ammo budget of say 100 rounds. Then what you would do is you would divide up that 100 rounds during the month so that you have several shooting days where you can use that 100 rounds, like say 20 rounds every few days or something like that, where you can do your live fire drills. But once again, I can't stress enough, run and gun and competition shooting and all that stuff, that fast blazing stuff, it doesn't matter how fast of a shooter you are or how accurate you are. The first shot, the first bullet, is the most important bullet that you're ever going to fire in a defense situation to save your life. It's not going to count the second shot if things are moving around quickly. So you have to focus on being as fast as you can and being accurate as you can for that first shot. So once again, 30 round mags are fine, but do you want to use 30 rounds to get the job done? How about just one? Save some money on your ammo. Why should the bad guy cost you money? You know, I don't even want to spend 50 cents on a bad guy. So if you guys like spending money, you can go ahead and blaze 20, 30 rounds. But me, if I see that one gets the job done and I can confirm it, I'm not going to fire anymore if I don't have to. So, but anyway, thank you very much for watching, you guys.